Day class. How are you all? I hope you enjoyed our last classwork and assignment. You do? Great. Okay. If you actually enjoyed our last classwork, today let us be attentive and be focused as we continue from where we stopped in our last lesson. In our last lesson, we studied the classification of crops. We were made to know that crops can be classified into two. Let me remind you of these classifications. The first classification, monocotyledons plants, while the second is dicotyledons plants. Let us make sure that we go through the last topic and the topic for today after school hours. Because, if we do so, we will be able to forge ahead and understand this subject easily. Also, if you will do whatsoever you hear from me, you will discover that learning can be fun. Thank you. Now, what is today's topic? Today's topic is classes and uses of crops. Can you say after me? Classes and uses of crops. Good. Crops can be classified according to their lifespan, their general uses and the type of nutrient they supply. Let us begin with crops lifespan. Crops can be classified into two groups. They are annual crops. Annual crops are plants which complete their life cycle in 1 year. They germinate, grow, bear fruits and die off within a year. All herbs and plants belonging to the grass family are examples of annual crops. Mustard, watermelon, corn, lettuce, wheat, are a few examples of annual plants. Perennial crops, they are plants that lives for more than 2 years. The term perennial means, through the years. It is often used to differentiate between a plant from shorter-lived annuals and biennials. The local climate may dictate whether plants are treated as shrubs or perennials. Biennial crops. A biennial plant takes 2 years to complete its life cycle. It will germinate and grow, survive through 1 winter. And in the 2nd year it will grow more, bloom and die. Biennials plants are less common than both annuals and perennials. Examples of biennial crops are members of the onion family including leek. Some members of the cabbage family are common mullein, parsley, fennel, carrot, and pepper. Classes of crops. Crops may also be grouped based on what they are generally used for. They include 1. Cereals. Cereals are types of grasses sown and harvested in 1 season. Examples are rice, millet, maize, guinea corn and wheat. 2. Tubers. These are swollen underground parts. Examples of tubers are yam, cocoa yam, cassava and sweet potato. 3. Legumes. All members of this family can obtain nitrogen gas from the atmosphere into their roots. Since all proteins contain nitrogen, legumes can usually produce higher protein content in their seeds than other plants. For example, groundnut seeds contain 25% protein. Examples of legumes are groundnut, sword pea, pigeon pea, cowpea, mucuna and groundnut. 4. Fruit crops. These are crops whose fruits or seeds are consumed by man. Examples of fruit crops are banana, plantain, mango, cashew, orange and pawpaw. 5. Vegetable crops. These are crops grown either for their leaves, roots, or their fruits. Vegetables give extra taste to food and add valuable vitamins and minerals. Examples of leafy vegetables are amaranths, spinach, lettuce, cabbage, bitter leaf and water leaf. Root vegetables include radish and carrot. Those vegetables whose fruits or seeds are eaten are tomato, okra, melon, eggplant, cucumber, pumpkin and fluted pumpkin. 6. Oil crops. These are crops that provide oil when processed, both for domestic and industrial uses. Examples are oil palm tree, groundnut, melon, coconut, soybeans and cotton. 7. Spices. These are crops whose leaves, fruits or seeds add flavor to our stew or soup. Examples are ginger, pepper, onions, garlic, thyme and curry. 8. Latex crops. These are crops whose stems produced sticky fluids or liquids called latex. This latex is used in rubber and plastic industries. Examples of such crops are rubber and gum arabic. 9. Beverage crops. These are crops that are processed into food drinks such as Milo, Bournvita and other chocolate drinks as well as drinks like Lipton and Nescafe. Examples are tea, cocoa and coffee. 10. Fiber crops. These are plants grown specifically to produce materials called fibers which are used in making fabrics and clothing, ropes, bags, sacks and mats. Examples are cotton, sisal, hemp and jute. Classes of crops according to their food nutrients. 1. Carbohydrate crops. Examples of carbohydrate crops are rice, maize, cassava, yam, millet, wheat and sweet potatoes. 2. Proteins crops. Examples of protein crops include but not limited to cowpea, soybeans, pigeon pea, lima beans, jack beans and groundnut. 3. Fat and oil crops. Oil palm tree, melon, groundnut, soybeans and castor oil are examples of fat and oil crops. 4. Mineral and vitamin crops. Examples of mineral and vitamin crops include the following: carrot, mango, apple, pawpaw, vegetables, and oranges. We have come to the end of our lesson for today. Class? Any question? Let me say again. Do you have any question to ask me based on what we have learned today? If you have any question, please, feel free to ask your question now. In the absence of no question, I will assume that you all understand today's lesson. Class, do you all understand today's lesson? If you say yes, then I will see you in the next lesson, by the grace of God. I will now take my leave. But before I leave, in case you have any question to ask me after I have left your class, you can write them or get the questions ready. We will discuss them and I will answer your entire questions one after the other in our next lesson. Thank you and good day.